closed. The government shutdown is latest delay for SpaceX static test fire. A man is dead after a deputy-involved shooting, and divers continue to stabilize a submerged water main. Video by Luan Mandeville and Rob Landers. Posted January 22, 2018. Luan Mandeville and Rob Landers. Update, 7:30 a.m. Tuesday. Kennedy Space Center will resume normal operations today, NASA confirmed. In orbit, a spacewalk has begun outside the International Space Station. Patrick Air Force Base and 45th Space Wing employees also return to work today, January 23. Welcome back to all team members, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Khaleth Wright wrote to employees. A continuing resolution has been approved and signed. This means the shutdown is over, and all furloughed employees should report to work on the next scheduled duty day. A pair of NASA astronauts plan to exit the International Space Station for a spacewalk Tuesday morning while 250 miles below. The space agency's workforce hoped to return to work after a brief federal government shutdown. Original story: nearly 2,000 civil servants at Kennedy Space Center worked a half-day Monday before heading home on furloughs. A short time later, a U.S. Senate vote paved the way for the government to reopen as soon as Tuesday. By noon Monday, electronic signs outside security gates announced the center's official status. KSC is closed. By photo signs outside Kennedy Space Center announced its status Monday afternoon in the midst of a federal government shutdown. Photo James Dean, Florida. Today at Patrick Air Force Base and Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, civilian employees also reported to work Monday morning to receive furlough notices. The exact number furloughed was not immediately confirmed. The base lists 2,200 civilian positions on an economic impact statement. The 45th Space Wing said the Eastern Range could not support rocket launches or hazardous tests, including SpaceX's planned firing of Falcon Heavy rocket engines. While those employees were barred from working, the unfortunate reality of the current situation is that lives and operations are disrupted. Brig. General Wayne Monteith, the 45th Space Wing commander, wrote to employees. My hope is that the furlough's duration will be brief and become a mere speed bump in our drive to 48 launches a year. Close. An Atlas V rocket blasted off from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida with an Air Force satellite designed to detect ballistic missile launches on Friday, Jan. 19, 2018. That proved to be the case, at least until the latest compromise budget deal expires Feb. 8. The three-week deal had been approved by Congress and was awaiting President Trump's signature as of 8 p.m. Monday. A mostly lost Monday, and possibly some of Tuesday, was unlikely to have a big impact on upcoming missions, including a national weather satellite being prepared for a March 1 liftoff. While NASA, civil servants and Defense Department civilians were sent home Monday, some of the roughly 7,000 contractors staffing local installations kept working. Lockheed Martin continued assembling NASA's Orion crew capsule at KSC. United Launch Alliance, which launched a military satellite Friday night and will launch the GIOSS weather satellite March 1, said operations continued Monday. SpaceX, which hoped to be ready to launch a European satellite before the end of the month, urged a quick resolution to the budget stalemate. This shutdown impacts SpaceX's Falcon Heavy demonstration, which is critical for future national security space missions, said spokesman John Taylor. It also impacts critical missions for our customers, including important international allies scheduled to launch shortly from Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg Air Force Base, as well as upcoming missions this spring to resupply the International Space Station. By photo, a facility where many employees eat lunch in Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39 area was closed during Monday's federal government shutdown. Photo James Dean, Florida. Today, the KSC Visitor Complex remained open Monday, but bus tours were limited to shuttling guests to and from the Apollo Saturn V Center. In all, shutdown plans called for fewer than 100 KSC civil servants to work time or part-time to perform essential safety functions related to people, flight hardware or facilities. Others were on call. On social media accounts, NASA said communications would be put on hold. All public NASA activities and events are cancelled or postponed until further notice, a post said on Twitter. We'll be back as soon as possible. Sorry for the inconvenience. Critical positions not allowed to stop working included those supporting the International Space Station, where mission controllers in Houston work around the clock to ensure the 6% crew's safety. NASA astronauts Mark Vande and Scott Tingle on Tuesday morning were expected to float outside the station for the first of two spacewalks that will install a new hand on the station's 58-foot, Canadian-built robotic arm. By photo, the Canaveral National Seashore was open but not Y-staffed Monday during the federal government shutdown. Photo James Dean, Florida. Today the spacewalk would have proceeded whether or not the government was closed. But it was unclear if the public would be able to follow the action on NASA TV as usual. At the north end of KSC's secure perimeter, the Canaveral National Seashore stayed open to the public during the shutdown Monday, unlike during a longer shutdown in 2013, but it was not Y-staffed, and it gave some visitors a deal. Cars bound for Playa Linda Beach, just north of NASA's launch pads, could bypass a closed ticket booth without paying the $10 entry fee. By photo, Tom and Carol Miller of Port Street on Monday visited Playa Linda Beach at Canaveral National Seashore, which was open but not Y-staffed during the federal government shutdown. Photo James Dean, Florida. Today, we love to walk here, said 74-year-old Carol Miller of Port Street. John, visiting the beach with her husband Tom. A smattering of surfcasters and sunbathers dotted the beach, but the parking lot was mostly empty. Of the shutdown, Miller said, "I hope they get it straightened out. Contact Dean at 3,212,423,668 or jdean@floridatoday.com. Twitter at @Flatoday_Jen. Facebook Flame Trench closed. SpaceX successfully launched the secretive Zuma mission from Cape Canaveral on Sunday, January 7, 2018 and landed the Falcon 9 rocket's first stage. Reader, share this story http://on.flatoday.com. 2 Dear 9s